G'day, greetings from the riot capital of Australia, Melbourne. There's a helicopter flying over every, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and I thought I'd better make this the Ikea three-piece bucket set. I'll do an update before the helicopters come back. They'll probably hover over the backyard, truth to be known, but that'll be another story, another video. So yeah, so we bought this a while ago. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. $17. They charged me $5 to pick it up. Thanks IKEA. Gave me a packet of biscuits as well, but personally I'd just rather pick it up and not have the biscuits, but that's another story. So we've got two future stories, hooray. But all right, let's get back to this. The idea was, it was a three-piece bucket set that I was going to make a classifying system out of. And I'll tell you what, I'll just walk to the outside dunny where I keep more of my junk. Trust me, there's all stuff underneath the caravan and what have you. And in here, next to Frankensluice, if I come around a bit, I'll show you a bit of mesh that I purchased that was going to be part of the three-piece set. So, as you can see, I've done the circle. This is 8 mesh. And yeah, that was going to go into what is the yellow bucket, which I've now drilled out. This came from, this mesh here came off eBay, but when they did show it in the photo as being rolled up into a cylinder, but I didn't think they'd send it that way. And oh look, it took a couple of weeks with bricks on it to flatten it out, and even then it's not perfectly flat. So I've been trying to get my neighbour's angle grinder off him so I could cut the 8 mesh classifier and whack it into the tub here. But it's a funny old world in amongst everything else. So I rang the music swap shop up in Fitzroy today to try and get a Fender Stratocaster, and the one I wanted, they didn't have it. It was on the website, but they didn't have it with the neck I wanted, because unfortunately these are not piano playing fingers, so I need a thin finish type neck. And it was going to be a pay and collect and bugger off type deal, but I said to the guy, oh look, can you just go and check and make sure that the neck is a slim neck? And he came back, he said, oh, I'm really surprised, it's a lot thicker than I thought. And I thought, oh bugger, thanks anyway mate, but no, we won't grab it. So yeah, bit of disappointment. And so I thought, oh well, I'll keep busy. Did a little bit of gardening, put the tomatoes in for this year. Let's see how we go. Couple there to take over to my mum's. She doesn't have much luck, maybe she'll do better this year. So anyway, let's get back to this. So the three-piece Ikea bucket set update, going to be used as a classifying system. So like I said, I was a bit disappointed that this came out a bit wobbly and stuff. As you can see here, it doesn't sit flat. And also I was a bit disappointed not to get my guitar. But when I went for a walk to get my grand final viewing beer from Dan Murphy's, of course, look what I found. I found this guy, and it's obvious it's for a deep fry. But I tell you what, it sits in this third bucket reasonably well. And let's take out the third bucket, which sits in this guy. And so yeah, I saw it on the footpath with a few pots that I also need. They're sitting in the bucket. They're for carrots. And I thought, yeah, look, I'm going to grab that and take it home, because it looks like it's going to fit into the larger classifier system pretty well. So out that comes, and although it's not 8 mesh, it is a bit, well, it's probably double the size. I think I'm going to be happy with that, just for the mere fact it's just, well, it's exactly what I wanted. Probably 1 more inch, 2 more inches, it would have been absolutely perfect, but look, it's a pretty good score. Now, someone told me not to drill holes in plastic in my other video, and that's fair enough, they've got a right to an opinion, but I'm telling you, this is pretty thick plastic, and if you listen, it is well built, I've got to admit. And also, if I'm shoveling, which I'm not likely to be doing much of now that I've got the Yabby pump, yeah, and I've got a filter on the Yabby pump to stop it grabbing big rocks, I'm not that fussed that it's going to crack this plastic. And also, yeah, I'll show you this. I did have this guy. I find so much when I'm scrounging. I had this guy that was going to be a classifier going into this bucket, but I wasn't happy that it didn't go down deep enough, down further, that way into the bucket. So I had a look and I thought, look, I think I can still use it, because it's still a handy kind of classifying, stratifying arrangement, this mesh grill thing, plastic admittedly, but still handy. So yeah, I thought, well, let's see how we can use it in conjunction with this guy. And what I've done is, although I think strength wise you would obviously put it on the top, but this plastic is so thick, and as I said, it's unlikely that I'm going to be shoveling material into it. It's more likely a yabby bait pump situation. I've decided to put this on the bottom because I wanted this guy to be flat, and to me that's a bit more workable. And if I've got to mess around with clay and stuff, I want to do it from this way. So but this guy does add strength, don't worry about that, and it also contributes to yeah, the classifying going down and that, and I'm happy enough with that. For what would be your first classification, which would go into this bucket and then get poured into another bucket, and this guy here would then go in, and yeah, it's even got the handle so you can spin it around. And keeping in mind this will be in water, this guy here, you're going to have water up to that level in there, so it's going to help with the action, and generally the material will rise, and that will also take any pressure off the bottom as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So that's a good score. That's a bloody great score. I couldn't get my guitar, but geez, you know, this is good. There's people out there selling these things on eBay for $30, $40. So yeah, I'm really stoked to have found that, and it's going to be interesting to see if it goes down low enough to use with the Gold Rat. Yeah, you can see the Gold Rat sluice there with the yabby pump and a few other bits and pieces. So an absolute worst case scenario is if I'm not happy enough, I can come back to this, cut it out and sit it inside here and just garden wire it in. So then you'd have a pretty fine mesh happening there. We'll see how we go. But at this point in time, yeah, the Ikea, I'll stand back. The Ikea bucket set update, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there and using it. What are we? Last week in September. No, still probably another 5, maybe 6 weeks to go before the Melbourne folk can get out there and get into it. So all you folk up regional, you're doing well. You've got a bit of sanity in your life. But I've bought the odd little bit of pay dirt just to have fun. As you can see, the pans there today, and I actually had an arrival from America come yesterday. And it had 1 or 2 pickers in it, so it wasn't bad. About $100 worth for not a huge bag, but to send it overseas, if you want a huge bag, it's going to cost you a fair bit in freight. So I was happy enough, and it kept me amused. I actually got it yesterday, and did half yesterday and did half today just to have a bit of fun in the sun. It's meant to be a rainy day here in Melbourne, 13 degrees and rainy, but it's not. It's actually really good. So anyway, we'll call that the Ikea three piece bucket update, and yeah, and now we live in hope that we get to use it. And guess what, the police helicopter hasn't been back yet, so I better finish before it comes back and drowns out the noise. Take care, enjoy the grand final, see ya.